Okay, hello guys and gals, my name is Science845, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Right then, Lana caused quite a disturbance in the court, so it had to be adjourned until the next day. Okay, February 24th, 3:12 p.m. Wright and Cold Law Offices. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL-9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. When you murdered Officer Marshall's brother, you left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. Before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture. I don't remember the moment when Dad stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes. But I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true. Even though he may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did. Especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Doc knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. Oof. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies, and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dock had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective's offices in the questioning room are right across from the elevator. What? Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. Under the Joe Dock case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective. I better have another talk with her. February 24th, the Detention Center Visitors Room. We have something to talk about. Well, Lana. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. You don't know the half of it. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL-9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about the unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, that the witness, what the witness, Mr. said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together when he didn't have his cross tie. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of the police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in the court, right? That's actually quite smart. Gant's help in the SL-9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of that 2 years ago. Two years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating that. Second in command. That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Give it a second. Yes. Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. I don't remember what the expression means. Without doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let the guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to come to the scene, Mana. It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. Filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out. And the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room and just held her. Can't blame her after all. Her sister must have gone through. Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through. Okay. Yeah. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL-9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence. I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. The case just might be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. the chief's police. The chief's office. Why did I zone out? Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL-9 murder. Oh, can I ask about this again? Ah, damn it, I didn't finish it. Oh well, let's get this off on the ground parking lot. Not even if, everyone's probably busy looking into exactly what went down in the evidence room. That must be what the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in the case, but instead it looks like we just making Lana look even more guilty. And then hanging there, Lana. I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. He took a real beating in court today. Yeah, it was on a man the hot fight almost 2 years ago. Yes, I understood. Yes, I know, that was a long shot. Covering my bases. Police department entrance. Oh. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. Never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Tisa Sarah. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Someone was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. Other detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. Question. The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? it means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, the possibility had been erased. But the facts have been concealed with forged evidence. That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL-9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL-9 incident took place, wasn't that the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall, there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There's something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. What the hell? Hold on. Okay, accident clicked while fixing my recording. Miss Star was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him, too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. What I just opened, by the way, was a cooler. I backed up a bunch of drinks. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Sky. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second-in-command, Lana Sky. I will admit, he does look badass. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knows her says so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Not a secret. It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. that's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was suddenly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. What the fuck? Too bad I won't be around to work with you. When you become a real scientific investigator. Aww. Adios, Bambina. That's quite sad, actually. February 24th, Police Station Criminal Affairs Department. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, you actually talked to us. Was the chief prosecutor saying what she did, and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word you usually use for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Kent's office. At the very least, it wasn't my character. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. That's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Bye. What the holy shit? Oh, hold on. Battery's almost dead. There we go. February 24th, Police Department Chief's Office. Whoa, where am I? Oh, that explains why his music is that. Whoa, where am I? Good question. In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. That's actually kind of cute. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. Ma! I never could remember where C was. Oh, shit. Oh, it's you two. Hi! Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading on in his desk. So, Waito, have you been swimming lately? I haven't had time. And seriously, what the hell is that tie? Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. I couldn't find anything. So, Waito, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my handfuls, too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. A non-provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Why is that knife poking through a cloth? Sword, I guess. I'm referring to the, night there. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. It's the fact that there's a blade through this when there used to not be a blade. When there used to be a blade. The one that we currently have does not have a blade here. See? Oh, the fist there. For the award ceremony of Gant, Lana, and Neil. She definitely looked much happier in that photo. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office. It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still have to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Shit. Looks like we aren't welcome. You think? Before any of you say anything, that's water that I'm drinking. It seems that case isn't over with yet, after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Hey pal, Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long. Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Hey, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? Oh shit! I had dropped my phone. He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? Most likely. That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edwards has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Well, I was gonna use this as a midpoint. I get a distinct feeling we need to drop by Edgeworth's place. Let's go ahead and do that first. I'm willing to bet she's gone. Oh. Surprisingly not. Oh, okay, I'm just covering my bases, guys. Edgeworth's crisis. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Hold on. It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. This guy's the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him kept him safe from those who didn't like him. But now with this, as there really so many people who hate him, in our world, only those with talent rise. In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth has not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey Dick, keep up the good work. Yes sir. Let's go, Apple. Shut the fuck up, phone. Sorry. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dak left behind was during his final attack. His final attack, you mean? When he killed Prosecutor Marshall, he was trying to protect some girl. Me. Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it has something to do with the meta weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? It doesn't say in my copy. His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the meta weapon. It might jog his memory. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was one-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take the serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So, it was an accident. An accident, yes, but transformed him into an animal. An animal. He killed a man. So he killed him too. Then when he was burying the bodies, Jugger came upon the scene and he was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Okay, that went by too fast for me to read all of it. Let's see. Killed a guy in an accident, killed a guy who witnessed it, killed someone who witnessed the second killing, killed the kid. That's at least 5, holy shit. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. So that's why there's only 6 listed here. Oi. Woman who was jogging by, okay. Oh right, Edith is a name, female name. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Jack was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. Emma, I'm assuming you mean the meta weapon from the Joe Jack killing. About this. Hey, is that? It has a tag attached to it with the label SL-9 incident on it. Attached to it was the SL-9 incident on it. Label. I believe this would be the meta weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in the locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. And was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. This knife, it was Joe Jack's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it. At. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to know that. Yeah, it's in plain sight. Yeah, well, anyway. Take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside his stab wound. Did it match Jack's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Neil's autopsy report. Stabbed in the back. Died from punctured lung and heart. A knife tip was in the wound. The broken tip was found in the victim's body. Belonged to murderer Joe Dabb. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The Chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. No, it's not! Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What, really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It's Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe's our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Is there? No, 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 no! I don't have anything on me. Maybe Edgeworth? Better check in with him? Ah, there we go. February 24th, High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is. Looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? Hi, Miles. He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? You don't need to remind him. I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's when it all breaks down, too, and nothing I can do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edwards, I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edwards can keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edwards, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. Then it seems like the other half is missing. It's only half as long as most lists. That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture. Something seemed strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back. This. Oh yeah, Chief Gann asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. Was I involved in it? He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to. That's right. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gann's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? It's the trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the awards based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard the story? Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it though, for Emma's sake? Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed would slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Well, that's, contradictory. Wait a minute.
Objection!
Why did you yell that? In here, those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion. Even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow. Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant. King of Prosecutors Trophy updated in the court record. Giving it its front form. Oh, shit. Let it up. If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. Hold on. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm leaving that in. If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says Letter of Resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. It's a letter of resignation. I don't know if I can use it for anything. He's serious. Gumshoe. What? Okay, for some reason I just felt a tremor in my leg. Excuse me. Oh, Mister. I'm not hungry. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Mister, I guess she's out of lunches. You suddenly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like... the first person who sucked the cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL-9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal, which can't be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I have in the witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Mister's hatred toward Lana all dates back to 2 years ago. Joe Dark, that's a name I'll not soon forget. Are they gonna show that? Yeah. We trailed him for half a year. All the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL-9 case. Of course they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. Oh, that's them was saying that. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dart got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. The Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Damn Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation, with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to track evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall, when Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. Oh. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Mr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yeah, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief. That's right. Having solved the SL-9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean, that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he can control the prosecutor's office. Okay then. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At long last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, mister. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create a fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Thank you. Very much. Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing copying files. I'm thinking to a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. I think that's what he means, yes. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL-9 incident. I have to take a look at that. Agreed. There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they've pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I've made up my mind. But... here, take my ID card. You can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. There's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, Detective. Thank you. Gumshoe's ID tucked swiftly into pocket. I cannot thank you enough, man. Let's do it. February 24th, the Police Department Chief's Office. Here goes, Mr. Wright. Oh, I thought he was in here for a second. We're in. If anyone finds us now, then Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Eek! Ah! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah! Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. You're here, and what's the point in giving us your ID card? Detective Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable. Hey, don't do that to my card. I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. I've got a bad feeling about this. Is that your catchphrase? Best place to start is with a luminol test. Whoa, this area must have been covered in blood. Is it from that incident? It must be. When Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. 2 years have passed, so the reaction's kind of dull. So a murder really did take place here. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yeah, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. I was in the comment section of a Phoenix Wright video, and he And someone in the comments said you can't get drunk in the Phoenix Wright universe. That's for crying out loud. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches the desk? No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here this morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clue remaining. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL-9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Or you ask. You don't think... Nah. You wouldn't be... No. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that. So sorry, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again. No, don't back out just yet. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations. That's the pipe organ and now the armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? Damn flies. What, you mean we're paying for this? That's it, I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay. Shh. Be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief may be hiding in this armor, so to speak. I don't think he'd fit in that. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. And you guys don't know how scary that guy can be. You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. Ugh. If you were to drop that silver armor from here, at first the chief wanted to use stained glass for this window. Really? Why didn't he? They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh, stained glass or not, it's a huge window. I shudder at the thought of being 15 stories up because I am very much so afraid of heights. Wow, look at wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant! He put that paper he was reading in his desk. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence. In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case name. Huh? SL-9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long. That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-sized list of evidence. The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it. The chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. It was ripped in half, so this pad is all I've got. Move inside the Chief Gant's desk. We found this inside a drawer. List of items from an SL-9. Mr. Edgeworth had the other half of that list. What would this list be doing here? We better look a little more into this list. Chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally, we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department. That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When the detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office and makes them listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. But as the chief's ears affected, maybe he wears earplugs. He never listens to anyone anyway. That's beside the point. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. Gotta use the bathroom again. Bye. Hey, you seen how much I've been drinking? And I mean water and that Mountain Dew there. Not sponsored. This was taken on that... Oh boy. I'm bleeding again. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe ran out of the question room and tried to kill Emma. Oh, no, not that over. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. That went along with Chief Gander questioned Doc. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey, this is when Lana and I went to that theme park. This was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still cleaning it. Keeping it clean. Has Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of that partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of. Did he keep it in memory of her or in memory of the crime? Actually, that's a very good question that I don't know the answer to. Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making detective, I always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self. Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window, and he gets fired. Don't say that. I purposefully skipped over that safe because I know for a fact that this damn thing is important. Also, what the hell is this? Is this a phone? A weird ass phone. This is a save, isn't it? Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is. Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my best date? It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Code confirmed. Access granted. That was the only thing we had. That was the only ID number we had left. Bingo. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal? 7777777. The final ID card number on that record. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 7777777? That ID number? You're one short. I think you're 1-7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, you wouldn't care to look inside? Apologies. My brother just stopped by. Is there any more? I live on the upper level, so I'm kind of out of breath. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's, a shard from a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in here too. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh. Well, it was just a thought. Is that it? This is all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. A piece of cloth with a handprint on it and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Wait. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL-9 incident? Come on. There's got to be something we can show the detective. I imagine I already know what it... Now's not the time, game. You have another look at this jar. Remember when the three of us put that together? Those were the days. That was a couple days ago. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had an SL-9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? No, that fragment we just found? You mean this one? That was in the safe? Yes, that one. That was in the safe. Music faded out. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Here, let me see that shot. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. It's alright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. Long way around. There we go. There. It fits like a charm. That of course means Chief Gann willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in a safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL-9 incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. Oh, I don't like the look of this. There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line. That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gann hide this in his safe? I'll see what you have up there in the court record. Oh! I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here. What is it? Did you find something? I can't make it out. I better keep quiet about it for now. Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright? I better not forget about the picture. Not to say positive. Maybe I have to look at the actual picture. No, not that. Hey, look here, it's hard to make out, but there's a dark red stain here. Looks like blood. This piece the Chief has is different though. The blood stains on other pieces are just spots, but this one's a line. That is odd. Huh? This thing doesn't have a bottom. That's weird. I wonder which side is up. Better yet, what's the purpose of a bottomless jar? At least it doesn't collect dust inside, right? Hey, this is missing part of its handle. I'm surprised there isn't a picture of me in this. Oh, for goodness sake. feel a lot better now that this job is complete. But only raises another question. What was a piece of it doing in the chief's safe? More importantly, why wasn't there any money in there? Isn't that what safes are for anyway? I have a feeling the outcome of tomorrow's trial might just hinge on this. Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints? That's a great idea, Detective. Oh yeah, I probably should have just figured that. Do this. Alright, go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking your hand out like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about the cloth we found at the safe. Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? About 10 miles back. We're being serious here. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle, powder on the cloth. Then, once they've absorbed into the prints, throw the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over with. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't go for matching Prince Road. But it doesn't look like we'll get clear result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Would a thumbprint work? Gave it my best shot. Fine, middle finger. Ah yeah, that looks more... That's definitely a more solid print. I'm glad Edwards gave us so much of this dust. No. No, it's not Megan's. This is not Marshall's. No, it's not Bruce's. No, it's not Gumshoe's either. It's akin, but it's not the same. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. No. Having this be. What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be dark prints. Psst. Hey, you, over here. What's going on over here? What are that kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Yeah, maybe you should hold on to this. I don't know if you heard me, but I was whispering what it said. Found Evidence for something, but what? Bears Emma Sky's prints. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now, that's not very kind, is it? Fuck. In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you and the cult? Eek! Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in science. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. If I'm slipping into a voice, I'm sorry. Damn it, Nico B. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. He's fired, isn't he? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now get out! I think that's the first time I've seen this in this version. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too, then. Wait, you. The one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair. You're free to go. Mr. Wright. No! Look, pal. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits, but no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gann was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily secret about it all this time? Anyway, you listen to me? I'm gonna try and smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. February 24th, detention center visitors room. Oh shit, I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. There's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get him to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you get it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in questioning may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name? Yeah, pretty sure that's it. You're afraid of yourself. No. 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 Him.
Take that!
Well, Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, you are addressing the Chief Prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Would you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes. Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant. Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. Oh, shit, so I can...
Take that!
I just found this in a safe in the Chief's office. This jar piece, and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL-9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmise. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you are not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken. It discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon. You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL-9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That'll be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes. It seems I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then... she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Mr., huh? Why did you need to hide Duck's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Duck case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that, by whatever means possible. So, you hid Duck's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Duck case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So, you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. The edge was his exhaust pipe. Right, and then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Mona's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling. The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL-9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. At least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean, not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He'd already stolen the ID card. But it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. Oh, please, no. Oh, thank goodness, we weren't watching it again. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. Pavlana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and as an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's the real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. That took about 2 hours. Right then. I hope you all enjoyed that episode. Wow, that was a lot that went down. I needed a little time to process it, and I also need to do the dishes. Anyway, that's all for right now. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for Tensei 845, signing out. Goodbye.